Good morning, heroes. What's up today? We're still in the middle of time management week. How to make yourself more efficient, more effective, more productive, all with how you manage your time. And so we've been going over the zero calendar. And up until now, we've just been doing kind of the theory of zero calendar and the psychology behind it. And today I want to actually show you a live demonstration, a real world example of how I plan, organize my day every morning using my zero calendar. I do a combination of two things. I do a combination of one, the paper method. So this is the physical zero calendar that you should have. And so I start here with this just to kind of organize my thoughts while I'm having a cup of coffee. And then I actually transfer it over to my digital calendar, which is what I take with me all day long. So I use a combination of both, and you'll kind of feel it out and see what works best for you. But I'm going to show you exactly the method that I use. And so on the right here, you'll see this is a screenshot of the physical zero calendar, the part where I kind of organize my thoughts. And I'll walk you through exactly how I do it. So you'll notice it's broken out into sections. I like to start off by thinking of my goals first. I write out the actual goal, and then as I write that goal, my brain starts kind of doing a brain dump of everything I need to get done to help push that particular goal forward. And I break my goals out into a couple of different buckets. One, professional or finances. The second one is personal, or for me, that's family or relationships. And the third one is health and fitness. So I like to think of finances, fitness, and family. And so here you'll see each of these goals are kind of segmented out. The top, it says professional goals. So I typically write the goal and then the actions that's associated with pushing that goal forward. The second goal and the actions there. And then I have the fitness goal. It's kind of broken out and detailed into how will I eat healthy and what kind of exercise will I do. And then there are a couple of other things like how will I be thoughtful and intentional about my relationships? Who will I reach out to, or who do I need to connect with today? How will I continue my learning? What can I read or listen to that's going to continue for me to grow and advance in my skill set? And then at the very bottom, it's just what other miscellaneous tasks do I need to get done? So that's how this zero calendar, the physical version, is kind of prompts you to be thoughtful about your day. And so I'll show you in just a quick example. I've kind of pre-filled out a list, and this is just an example of a typical day that I would go through. So I've got my 3 goals. I want to sign up 10 new members for my programs this month for my high performance programming. I want to grow in my relationships and my connections with friends and family, and I want to lose 10 pounds. I think we all pretty much can identify with that one. And then there are other things I want to get done. I want to make sure that I reach out to a couple of people. I want to keep reading this book. I'm in the middle of reading Think and Grow Rich, and I want to make sure I block out time for that too. And I've got a parking ticket that I somehow need to pay for. Living near downtown is not the easiest on the parking. So this take me probably 5 minutes to fill this out on the physical part. Now this, up until this point, this is still just a list. And, I normally just go out and just at some point today, I hope I'm going to get all this stuff done, but I haven't actually created a plan for it. And so this next part I'm about to show you is where I actually create the plan. This is where I create the intention. If everything went perfect today, this is how I'm going to get all this stuff done. And this is where it really amps up. And again, the whole purpose of this is to remove the decisions, because at this point I still have to figure out how I'm going to get this stuff done throughout the day. All day long, I'm trying to make decisions on what I should be doing right now. Out of all these 20 things on this list, what's the best use of my time right now? And a lot of times we get stuck in this indecision and we just linger. And that's when our brain reverts back to, let me check Instagram real quick. Like your brain doesn't want to make decisions. So when it's faced with that, it will always revert to what can it do that's easy to pass time. So let me check Instagram. Let me check my email. Let me just do some busy work because I'm avoiding trying to make this decision of what I should really be doing. And so the way we get around that is we make the decisions ahead of time, and that way we aren't forced with trying to make these big decisions throughout the day, right? So I'm going to go to a blank page on my calendar. And so this is a typical day. And this, I'm not sure, maybe your calendar looks like this at the beginning of the day, but there are a couple of things already on here. Maybe there's a client appointment, that have been scheduled already in advance, and that's already on my calendar. I also like to use recurring appointments for big things. So for me, I call grind time. Grind time is like the thing that's the highest value activity for me to push my business forward. And I call that grind time. Every day I want that time blocked out on my calendar where I can really focus and invest in that. And for me, that's reaching out to leads and prospecting to grow my business and my practice. And so I block that out on my calendar every day. It's a recurring appointment. So when I pull up my calendar for the day, it's already there. Grind time. My body already knows that time I'm blocking everything out. I'm blocking out all the distractions. I'm turning my phone on airplane mode. And that time is when I dedicate to my grind. So these are two things that's already there on my calendar when I first pull it up. And I'm going to walk you through a typical day of what my day would look like. So at the beginning of the day, it's always the same. Let's just say I actually wake up earlier than this. I wake up and ramp up. But for this example, let's just say I get up at 5 a.m. and the first thing I do is I go for a meditation walk. And I'm going to apologize in advance for misspelled. Anything that's misspelled. My son was beating on the computer keyboard the other day, and now a couple of the letters get sticky. And then right after I do my meditation walk, I come back and I do my zero calendar and get planned and organized for the day. You'll notice some of these are color-coded. I personally like to color code because then it's an easy way for me to quickly view what the day looks like and the priority set for each thing. So for me, green is personal items. All right. So those things are pretty much standard on my calendar every day. Every day, my morning routine is the same. Wake up, go for a meditation walk, come back and plan my day. So that's always kind of stuck there the same. It's pretty solid. So the first thing I want to do is I look at what appointments are on my calendar and I account for any transitions. So here in this day, I have a meeting already set up. I know I need to drive to that meeting. So I'm going to schedule my commute time. So it's actually about 15 minutes to get there, to get to this client, but I'm going to block out 30 minutes on my calendar. Again, remember, we double the amount of time that we think anything's going to take. So I know it's a 15-minute drive. I'm going to block it out for 30 minutes on my calendar. So I'm going to start commute. Now, here you'll notice there are a couple of things that I could actually do during this commute to kind of help, multitask with some of the things that's on my calendar. So I know that I need to make a few phone calls this day. I want to reach out to Mike. I want to reach out to Susan. I'm actually going to, in this commute, I'm going to detail out what I'm going to do during that commute to make the most of it. Now, me personally, I don't listen to music during my car rides because I can use that time to be more efficient. I use that time for listening to audiobooks or listening to podcasts or making phone calls and reaching out to people. So I like to be really efficient and use those commute times. So I'm actually going to use this commute to call Mike. I need to reach out to Mike because that's one of my referral partners, and we need to discuss a new lead that he's sending over to me. So I'm going to reach out to Mike while I'm on my way to that client. Now I also need to account for my drive time back. So on my way back, I'm actually going to call Susan. You'll notice Susan's on my calendar. Oops. And that's okay. So now I've accounted for the commute and transitions time around this meeting. Now, the other thing I want to do is detail out what this grind time block is. So the reoccurring appointment is a very generic label. It just says grind time. I don't know what yours might be. Maybe yours will say prospecting or project work, but it'll be very generic. What I want to do is I want to actually detail what specifically am I going to do. So again, we're trying to eliminate all the decisions. So when I get to that block of time, I want to know exactly what I'm doing. I don't want to have to try to figure out in that moment what I should do. So you'll notice over here on my list, I put little exclamation points next to the really high value items. And for the most important one for me to do this day is to reach out to leads. That's how I grow my business. That's my grind, is to connect with people, to reach out and prospect. And so instead of grind time, I'm actually going to erase that now and type in call 10 new leads. That way I know exactly what I'm doing when I get to that grind time block. Okay. So after I've kind of dealt with the things that were already sitting on my calendar, now I'm going to just go out and strategically plan the day. So after my zero calendar, I know I need to just go ahead and get ready to have breakfast. And in this case, I'm going to have oatmeal. So I actually write out in the block what like I said, I'm trying to remove all the decisions. So I actually write what I'm having for breakfast in there. And then after that, I'm going to commute to work. Here's another commute. What else could I be doing during this commute? Well, I have on here that I'm in the middle of reading a book or listening to a book, Think and Grow Rich. I'm going to actually listen to my audiobook, Think and Grow. So during this commute, I'm going to listen to my audiobook. All right, so now I get to work, I do my grind time, and now I want to look at what's the next. So here I have a 1 hour time slot. What's the next most important thing that I can fit into that time slot? And now up here I look, I see I have another exclamation point, send out an email campaign. I'm going to put that one next because that's the next most important. So send out email campaign. This is a high value item. And so as you can see now, at this point, this just becomes like a puzzle. Like it's almost fun. You know, I'm basically taking everything here and I'm trying to see how can I strategically fit all these things on my calendar so to get it all done. So this is actually fun for me. It's like a game. How can I fit everything in to make this the most perfect day possible? Okay, so I've gone through. I've done my most important items. I've had my big meeting with this client, and I'm gonna come back and now I'm just gonna go through and start filling in some of the other things. So I've already put on here the two most important. Now I'm going to start filling in the other things. So finalized presentation is next. So I know that one's going to take me I believe it's going to take me about an hour to finalize this presentation. But again, nothing takes the amount of time you think it's going to take. So I'm actually going to schedule out for 2 hours on my finalized presentation. And that one is, again, this is just my color coding mechanism. I color code them high value items and low value items. My high value items were making my calls and doing my email campaign. These other things are a little lower priority. So create invoices, low. Okay. And that takes care of all my work, my big important work items that I wanted to get done for the day. So at this point, I'm actually ready to go home. So I have another commute. Again, I'm listening to my audiobook. Listen to Think and Grow Rich. And you'll notice on here, I have for my family time, take my son to a park. The beauty about waking up early and getting started early is that I can finish my day early and go and spend time with my son. So my goal is to be done with work by 2 or 3 o'clock every day. And like I said, getting up early and being this efficient with my time, I'm pretty much out of here by around that time every day. And the first thing I do is I go grab my son and we go to the park. Take my Jetson the park. And that one is color purple because that's family. And I love seeing purple on my calendar every day. I make it a priority. I have to have something purple on my calendar because that's a big priority, is to me to grow and invest in my family relationships. So take Jetson to the park. And I also have on here cook dinner for my wife. So this particular night, dinner, and we're going to have, what did I say, steak and broccoli. And now we get to the end of the evening, and I'm going to actually schedule in some downtime. So I'm just going to put a block on here called downtime. I don't know what we're going to do. Maybe we'll watch some Netflix, but I'm just going to say that's where we need to hit the brakes, and I'm going to intentionally set downtime. Now, the power of scheduling my downtime is that it gives myself permission to relax at that time. Otherwise, my brain would still be racing like, what else should I be doing right now? Should I be doing something else? When I actually schedule my time, I'm like, no, I scheduled. This is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be watching Netflix right now. My brain can release the anxiety of anything else, and I can sink into this downtime. So a lot of people ask, why do you schedule downtime? It's because if I don't schedule it, otherwise my brain would still be racing like, okay, what else I should be doing? I can't sit down. I shouldn't be sitting down right now. I don't like to let myself sit down. So I schedule it, and then that gives my brain the permission to release and sink into this downtime moment. So at this time right here, yeah, we're going to watch some Netflix, and my brain is going to be okay with that because it's scheduled in my calendar. Now, and after that, around 8 o'clock is when I shut down for bed. I like to read before bed. Again, I'm reading my book. Okay. And after that, I'm out. I'm typically, when I read before bed, I am out like a light. So that's it. This is my entire day, front to back. And you can see the fact that it's color coded. I can quickly at a glance see my most important things. I can see I have a client appointment. I can see my highest priority items. I can see the other things I need to get done today. I see my family time. I have my meals blocked out on here. And now there is no decision that needs to be made all day. Now, will this get thrown off? Yes, this will probably get thrown off. I'll probably get a phone call that interrupts me. I'll probably get an urgent email that requires my attention. This will get thrown off, and it won't go according to the plan. And that's okay. The fact is, I set out with this intention, and more than likely, I will still get everything done on this list. This day won't go by because all these points, like, they're triggers. They're cemented in my subconscious now, and all day long my mind will trigger me. Like, soon as I get in the car during this transition to my client appointment, as soon as I get in the car, my brain will trigger and say, hey, shouldn't you be doing something right now? Oh yeah, I should be calling Mike. Okay, let me call Mike. Right? The fact that I planned it out cements it in my subconscious, and now all day long my subconscious will trigger me. Say, hey, shouldn't you be reaching out to Susan right now? Okay, yeah, let me call her. Like, let me get off Instagram and let me make sure I call her. Right? So cementing it on your calendar cements it into your subconscious, and it'll trigger you all day long, so you won't waste so much time doing other things, and you'll focus most of your time on the things that you prioritized on your calendar. This is a powerful practice, and I went through it kind of slow as I'm talking out with you, but when you get into the flow of this, it won't take you that long to do it. And again, it will be fun. It's like I said, it's like a game. How can I fit all of this onto my calendar and make it look pretty and color coded? And when I'm done, I'm kind of proud of the way this looks. Like, this looks like a really awesome day. I can't wait to go and dive into this day because I'm so proud of how I was able to maneuver everything. So again, this is just how I do my calendar. I use a mix of physical, and then I transfer it onto my digital. And if you're interested in what program I'm using, you can use any calendaring app to do this. I use one called Fantastical, which allows me to be able to just easily type stuff in and color code it. But any calendaring app allows you to do that. All right, so now is your turn. Go out there and have some fun planning your perfect day. Go out there and do something awesome today. I'll see you guys.